Hey, welcome back. This is Coach Shaun, and this is the Marriage We're Building Now, a weekly devotional for couples in the middle years of marriage. So, if you're just finding this video, welcome. Grab your coffee, have a seat, sit down together if you can, and let's spend a few minutes on something that really matters. This is week 4, and I want to start with something that I think a lot of couples feel but don't quite know how to say out loud. Intimacy didn't leave all at once. That's the thing about long marriages. The losses tend to be gradual. There's a little less talking, a little more distance at night, fewer moments of real contact replaced slowly, quietly by proximity without presence. And then one day you look up and you realize you can't remember the last time you felt really close and connected. Not just physically, though that is important as well, but the deeper kind, seen and actually really connected. The distance didn't arrive like a storm. It came in quietly, which means the rebuilding, and this is the part I really want you to listen and hear today. The rebuilding has to happen the same way, slowly, patiently, and with intention. There's no grand gesture that closes that gap. There's only the daily choice to move a little closer every day. Ecclesiastes 4, verse 9 and 10 says, "Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up." That's not just practical advice. That's a picture of what a real marriage is supposed to look like. Two people actually close enough to catch each other. Here's what I've seen over the years and what my wife and I have lived. Real intimacy, the kind that actually sustains a marriage over decades, is built on small moments, not big, elaborate ones. It's the cup of coffee brought without being asked, or tea. The hand on the shoulder when the day has been hard. The full attention given when your spouse is actually talking to you. Even when you're tired and you really just want to zone out, the question asked and the answer actually heard. These things don't feel significant when they are transpiring, but they don't make it into an anniversary speech. But over time, they are what closeness is made of. And their absence, the coffee, the tea not brought, the shoulder not touched, the hug not given, the question never asked, that's what builds that distance slowly, quietly, one small withdrawal at a time. Now, this matters especially when we talk about physical intimacy. And I want to be very honest here because a lot of devotionals kind of tiptoe around this area. But for a lot of couples in the middle, here's the physical side of marriage has gone quiet and cold. Not from a lack of love, but from exhaustion, from self-consciousness, and from slow accumulation of small disconnections that just make vulnerability feel harder and harder. But here's what I want you to understand. Physical intimacy in a long marriage isn't just about desire. It's about deciding to stay open to each other, to remain accessible, to say, with your presence, I'm still here. I still want to be close to you. I want to be connected to you. And for most couples, that starts with emotional closeness first. You have to feel known before you feel safe. And feeling known, well, that requires the daily act of paying attention. Rebuilding intimacy isn't glamorous. It's not a weekend retreat or a huge, big romantic vacation, fancy vacation. Though those things can help, and I'm sure that will be enjoyed. So don't get me wrong, it does help. But it's not the big overarching thing. It's choosing in ordinary moments to stay close instead of drifting apart. The gap doesn't close overnight or on a romantic weekend, it, but it does close. Slowly, consistently, it closes. So here are your conversation starters for this week. You don't have to get through all of them. Pick one or two and really talk about it. Firstly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how connected do you feel to your spouse at this stage? Emotionally, physically? And here's the follow-up to that. Does your spouse actually know your number, your scale number? Have you told them? The second one is, what makes you feel most emotionally close to your spouse? Does your spouse know that about you? Do they really know it? Have you really communicated it? And thirdly, what has made physical intimacy harder in this season of your life? And have you actually talked about it honestly with each other? Not hinted, but talked about it. And lastly, what's one thing your spouse could do, small and insignificant, that it would help you feel more connected right now? Those are your questions. Take your time, think through them. And like I said, take one if necessary and just talk it through, because one will have gained some ground. And now here's a practice or an assignment for this week. Simple, but don't let simple fool you into skipping out on it. Identify one small act of connection, physical or emotional, that you've been letting slide. Maybe it's a real greeting when you see each other after a long day, instead of just nodding and saying, hey. Maybe it's a longer hug. They say if you hug longer, you live longer, something like that. Maybe it's just sitting close on the couch instead of at opposite ends. Whatever it is for you, do that one thing intentionally every single day this week. Not to be romantic, not to make a grand statement, just to start connecting and getting closer. 7 small choices, that's it. And pay attention to the effects after a time. You know, the couples I've seen go the distance, and my wife and I are working at this just like you are. They're not the ones who had some kind of secret formula or never went through hard seasons. They're the ones who kept showing up in the ordinary moments, who kept choosing closeness when drifting apart would have been a lot easier. That's available to you, not someday, this week. I'll see you next week. And if this resonated with you today, hey, share it with another couple. You just never know who needs to be encouraged in this area. I'm Coach Shaun. I'm in your corner. And so is this marriage.